I'd like to introduce you to our new Pro X 5K cameras, first on the market, as well as our X Search capabilities. So on our Pro X portfolio, I'm sure if you're familiar with either Platinum or our Pro X line, you'll see that we have a lot of different technologies: hybrid illumination, color 24/7, motion detection 2.0, 4K imaging, panoramic cameras, as well as X Search and XPOE. Um, what's the benefits of these new cameras? Well, you have a very high resolution 12 megapixel camera sensors, more so than most monitors can actually display. But you'll get the clarity. That's what you're looking for. Long distance looks, long distance quality. You'll definitely get a better picture than the standard 8 megs that you normally see on the market these days. Hybrid illumination is actually something we really trying to push right now because it's actually it's a great technology to have. It's You can utilize it in almost all situations. Um, well, almost all these cameras will also have the color 24/7 lens that makes great images at night. And there's also something called Super Adept. I'm not going to go too much into it, but it's actually an automatic kind of adjustment of the image quality as that the camera can do by itself. So if there's different lighting situations, the camera can actually automatically adjust for them rather than only being able to adjust for night or day time. So if there's any flare-ups, any kind of bright lights that come on at weird times, it can adjust for that and still give you a clear picture. With these cameras, you also get the AI features with the X search, face detection, and people counting. And I'm sure those are kind of self-explanatory, but I'll get onto the X search in a few slides. So oh, for the 12 megapixel 5K max cameras, you have a standard 16:9 aspect ratio. A lot of other sensors, if they market it as 12 meg, it might not actually be 12 megapixels, but this one actually is. You get 50% more effective pixels than in a 4K camera, with a 16:9 native aspect ratio with no cropping or a reduced field of view. So you still get your standard lens. If you get a 2.8 millimeter lens, you'll get your almost 90-degree field of view. Okay. Here's a quick comparison between a 8 megapixel 4K camera and our 12 megapixel 5K camera. As you can see on the 12 megapixel side, it is a bit clearer. So at distance, when you're trying to track stuff, things that are further away from the camera, they will appear a little clearer. You'll have a little more detail, which will definitely be beneficial for most customers in that regard. Now for our hybrid illumination. This is actually an interesting thing. I've worked with this for a while. What it basically is it's a dual LED type setup for the camera. You have your traditional IRs. You also have your white lights, but that's paired also with the color sensor. With this, it allows you to be a little more discreet. I know one of the biggest complaints I've gotten before with the color cameras, they're very clear at night, but sometimes you need that supplemental lighting. The problem with that supplemental lighting is almost like a floodlight. It gets to the point where people look at it and they're like, there's something really bright shining in my eyes. They don't like that, especially in residentials. What this allows with hybrid illumination is you can keep it in IR just like most times when there's nothing in the picture. However, when the camera can detect human or vehicles, you can trigger the white light to go on so it goes into color temporarily, so it can capture a great image of whatever you're trying to track there. And then after that, it goes back to the IR black and white mode as a passive camera. The extra benefit for this as well is that it allows you to utilize this camera in 90%, 99% of situations. If you're going into an install and you want to do that really quick and you don't know what camera to choose, I would choose this camera because this will satisfy almost any kind of lighting situation you need. If you're doing an indoor low light situation, maybe you need a little more supplemental lighting for the color camera, but maybe it's in a bar. That would be too bright. So you can actually use that camera and go into IR mode and have a traditional image and still be able to see during the low light situation. Or if you need like more rural setup, you can change it to color and have the supplemental light be on all the time if that's acceptable for the customer. Things like that makes this camera really good to use 99% of situations. And next I'll go to the X search capability. Now this is a really popular capability. Something I've worked with. I really enjoy it because it's something that I get the most complaints about. Customers always come to me and say, I'm taking forever trying to find events, trying to find incidents and tracking them through your cameras. You have someone that you see in one camera, it takes forever to track from camera to camera to camera to see where they've been, where they go, things like that. However, with our X search capability, it allows you to actually track the subject across all the channels. It doesn't require any facial recognition, so there's no privacy concerns. It's all metadata based on the person, what they're wearing, whether or not they're wearing what kind of pants, what kind of shoes, long hair, short hair, glasses, that kind of thing. It gives you a better way, a more accurate way to track items automatically so you get the clips that you need to get to figure out the incident. So here's a scenario. You come out to your car, it got scratched up. You don't know what happened. So what can you do? You do a intrusion box and you try to capture who's gone close to my car. Someone just passes by, you see the event. Okay, it's not him. But you see someone actually vandalizing the car, it catches him. You can do an X search on top of that, and you can see where he's been, where he's going, and whether or not he's actually, vandalizing other cars. So it gives you a better incident tracking on what this subject has been doing across your property. So the value provided to the end user, pretty powerful because it saves them a ton of time. Like when I use this kind of functionality, I've been able to reduce my time searching by like a quarter of what I would normally spend. Having to find the times, find the events, go to the different cameras, and actually figure out what's going on. With this capability, super quick, super quick. The other thing I like to talk about is the link searching and the multi-layer search. So say one target you're searching against, but let's say he interacts with another person, his accomplice. You don't want to have to back out there and do another search in this. It allows you to straight up search through the link search so you can get, oh, he talked to that one. You can search on that one as well. So you can follow through the entire incident with multiple people, see what happened with everybody, track everybody, figure out what's going on, and then deal with it however you need to deal with. Okay, so here's an example that we've showcased. So in this example, sale reps comes out. Oh, so they find a box. Where did this box come from? Is it nefarious? Did someone dump it? We don't know. Normally, you would just have to look through the playback, hours of footage. You don't know how long it's been there. But with X search, it allows you to figure out the entire incident. So first, they take a metadata box, see what could have happened from it. They see that, oh, in this event, the car drove away and the box fell. Okay, so now we know what happened. But now we need to figure out who that is. What kind of car is that? Whose car is that? So what they do an X search. You hit the X search button and you search for that target. Here's some other clips. Oh, that car went and parked over there. Let's go figure out who drove the car. So then they'll continue watching the clip. And they see the person driving, they pause it, they go to X search, and then they X search the person. And with that, you can figure out where he's going, where he's been, and then figure out what's been happening with it. Oh, this is actually another guy from a different department making, he was making the box or putting stuff into the box. So now we have the full incident report. We know exactly what happened, and we can go back and reunite him with the box. So it's pretty powerful in that regard, and it's very helpful. Here's some screenshots from that same video, but it's pretty much the same. You track you first figure out what went close to the box. Using that, you figure out, oh, there's a car. Then you can track the car. Once you find the car, you find the driver. With the driver, then you can search against that and figure out where he's at, where he's going. and figure out the entire incident. Inclusive with Xsearch, we have some extra AI features as well. Now, these aren't mutually inclusive. You do have to pick one or the other if you want to utilize this, like face detection or Xsearch. However, with the face detection, you can actually utilize and be able to search a little bit better. When it generates this metadata, you can actually search, are they wearing glasses, long hair, short hair, color of the hair, male, female, that kind of stuff. So it allows you to actually, if you're looking for people, you have a better way to search for that as well once the metadata is generating for that. With that being said, you can also add in extra people counting, loitering detection, those advanced features that you normally would see in some of the higher end cameras. So you can track crowds, you can have a better idea of what's going in and out of certain areas that you want to track. And then here's a product comparison between the 12 megapixel and our standard 8 megapixel. You have a little bit higher resolution on the imaging, on the imager, different illuminator options, and then plenty of AI compared to what you get on a normal camera. I mean, even though MD 2.0 with the motion and human and vehicle detection is pretty powerful, you get a lot more with these newer cameras. Okay? And then finally, applications, pretty standard, but indoor, outdoor scenes. Basically, anytime that you have uncertainty with lighting, I think these will excel the best there. You have, especially the hybrid illumination cameras, you have just one camera that can satisfy 99% of your situations. And so I know some installers really like to do that because they don't like to spend the time to figure out, oh, this spot, let's use this camera, and then this spot, use this camera. If you have one camera that you can pick, you can actually buy multiple of those. So many stock up on those when they're on sale or get a good bulk pricing. With that, then you can utilize that camera in almost all your installations, on all your niche placements, unless you need something specific like specialty cameras like a PTZ or something. But for most of your fixed lens kind of options, this will satisfy almost all of them. Okay? Any questions? No? Well, thank you for joining us, and I hope you guys have a good time. Feel free to browse our booth some more. We do have Xsearch set up as a demo on this side of the booth, so feel free to check it out. Talk to a sales rep if you need to be shown how to utilize it, but it's really simple to use. Okay? Thank you for joining us.